I think a lot of times people might get caught up looking one place for something, and it's actually you gonna get one piece of what you need from right here, one piece of what you need from right here, and one piece of what you need from right here.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's the word, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a very special guest in this. We got a very special guest in the studio. I haven't fucked that up in a long time, right? For only 22 years old, you've done a whole lot, bro, right?
Yeah, bro.
You're signed to Marvin Bagley III's label, 3-5 Entertainment.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the 3-5 team, man.
You work out of Studio Shapes with some of the best artists in the city.
Studio Shapes, that shout out to the family.
You graduated from one of the best universities in Illinois.
Yeah. I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Recently featured on Rhythm and Flow. And you were almost spotlighted as like a favorite, bro. So like they had you at the end of every episode you were in and the beginning of every episode you were in. I was like, damn, they put you in some prominent spots. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't just throw you in the middle of the fucking thing.
Nah, they show love in that regard for sure, man. They did.
You're a long way from home, bro.
Woo, far. 2,000 miles from it, bro.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Rhome. Los Angeles, California, the best city in the world. I know we in the shy. I gotta say it every time, bro. I gotta say it. If I don't
I used to really like Los Angeles.
Right. Okay, but what you gonna say?
Everything's too spaced out, bro.
Okay, look, but this the thing, right? This is the beautiful thing about LA, right? And especially with my story too. I moved around a lot. Like, so I saw a lot of different sides of LA, and I saw a lot of different people's cribs. I was always at homie's house and stuff like that. So being from there, seeing all that LA could possibly be, bro, just like, it inspires you, man. It's like, oh, I could do anything. I could be anything because I could go a couple blocks this way and I'm in a whole nother world. I could go a couple, and Chicago, I know Chicago's the same way too. But also I think a lot of people move to LA, and that's why we get a lot of other outside influences that, make people feel a certain way about the people in Los Angeles. But everybody from there, we hold down.
You know what it is though? Like, I really didn't fuck with like North Hollywood.
Oh, see, I'm like, okay, that's the problem. You said you over here talking about LA, North Hollywood. Let me tell you something about LA.
I just feel like there's a lot of parts of LA that feel very like retro and like it's stuck in the past almost. You know what I'm saying?
I grew up when I was younger, I was out west. So I was kind of close to Culver City, Baldwin Hills, like kind of that area, you know what I'm saying? And then right before we went to high school, moved to downtown. So I was in downtown LA. But my homies was everywhere. So like, they anywhere from like Inglewood to South Central to Crenshaw. But this is all West LA. You know what I'm saying? It's all LA. Like you said, it's a lot of LA. And I feel like I even learned when I came out to Chicago, or I just left LA, period. I'm asking people, or I tell people I'm from LA, and they like, LA? Yikes. And they like, let me tell you something about North Hollywood. And I'm like, see, that's the problem. Because we don't, I can't speak for North Hollywood. I can't
People
speak for the
Chicago
Valley.
are telling you, yikes to LA.
But look. I can't speak for a majority of LA that's represented on television and represented in the media. You know what I'm saying? Like they might show a little pocket of like, a lot of the stuff that I'm familiar with, and like what's that one show called, the football zone? I don't even watch it. With Spencer.
All American.
Is
like, that LA based?
Yes, LA based. But it's like, then they got Beverly Hills and Crenshaw as rivals. I'm like, they just saying shit.
They don't even interact.
Bro, they just be making, LA's misunderstood. That's what I say. LA's very misunderstood. I feel like she gets a lot of branding put on her, by the entertainment industry. And I understand perspective is everything when you coming from somewhere else. So it's like, I can't even be mad at people when they're like LA, but I know a very beautiful, very loving.
So what's the real LA look like to you?
Bro, it's authenticity, it's hustle. Real LA is hustle. That's what I say more than anything. Like, everybody that I've ever met growing up, they were passionate about something. And I can't say that I've seen that everywhere else I've gone. But the part of LA that I'm from, the real LA, it's literally, you're being born and raised in the city of passion, because all the stars, all the bright lights, all that's right there. So you on the court with your homies before school, you at the lunch table rapping, whatever you think you doing, you think you about to be the best ever. You think you about to be the most famous, you finna have all the stars. It's not even about success, it's about the respect. You know what I'm saying? And in LA, you get the respect off of the hustle. So everybody in LA does a million different things. I feel like I came out to Chicago and I got my team. I got a big family, but I could be a one-man army sometimes, you know what I'm saying, and take a lot on my own, on myself. But I also saw everybody doing that where I was coming from because they were so passionate about something. They're like, man, whatever is in the way of that, I'm finna do it all myself. So that's the real LA to me. You know what I'm saying? It's the authenticity. It's like we stand on business, and you're going to know somebody that's really from LA when you meet them because they going to be chill. They going to be cool. If someone tell you they from LA and you like, but I don't like you, they probably not from LA. For real. Y'all know how that shit go. What's the Chicago shit? They be like, oh yeah, I'm up in Evanston. Like, what? You know how I go. It ain't the same. No disrespect to Evanston. It get real in Evanston too. It get real in Evanston.
Shit, apparently I've heard. You know what though? My homie, he's from Rogers Park. He went to school in Evanston though.
Okay, true. Shout out Rogers Park.
We were out for Blackout Wednesday, right? I don't remember these pictures being taken. I did not throw shit up. His homie was throwing some shit up, and I was like, why is your homie gangbanging so hard in these pictures, bro? He's like, I don't know, bro. He was raised in Evanston. He's like, fuck are you gangbanging for, and you're from Evanston?
Hey, bro. It get real everywhere. People got connections to everybody everywhere. It's just everything ain't for the internet.
You went to Northwestern, bro.
Yeah, I went to Northwestern. I surely did. I was in Evanston,
I'm
man.
Just say, I don't think there's any gangbangers up
Oh
at
no,
Northwestern.
they not banging in Northwestern. They definitely not banging at Northwestern. That shit was a trip. That Northwestern shit was trippier than Netflix. Oh God, because I went during COVID and shit. So my freshman year is when COVID hit. So it's like I damn near went to we got sent home and it's virtual school, and then we come back out and I now school's still virtual. So now I'm just in Chicago with an apartment and with a car and with, I'm doing Postmates. I was I was doing all types of shit. But that's when I found the music though.
We're jumping all over the place.
We everywhere.
Let's close out this first section.
Close it out.
Real quick. I actually was supposed to ask you where do you want to start.
Oh, damn.
But we're gonna start back home real quick, right?
That's what I was gonna say anyway.
Well, not technically home, but California, right? Because
Los Angeles, I got to make the distinction.
No, we're not gonna talk about Los Angeles.
We're gonna talk about California.
We're gonna talk about California, right?
What you got to talk about California?
Marvin Bagley got drafted to Sacramento.
Sacramento Kings.
How did that connection end up happening?
Shout out to my boy Earl Ramsey, man. One of the realest human beings to ever walk this earth. A big brother to me. That's all I was telling you. I know you said you work. You got some work in after school programming, right, bro? So my parents, they worked a lot. I was always in these after school programs. And in high school, there was this dude named Earl worked in my after school program who ran the basketball shit. First of all, he got us right. He had us doing all types of drills, all types. We was all hooping by the time we was working with E. But he also just really saw a lot of potential in me in terms of who I could be as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Even just beyond some basketball shit, some music shit. He really saw who I could be in terms of who I'm reaching and the people that I'm affecting. And I feel like he just gave me a lot of game about everything. And he just started seeing that I thought about things a little differently. And whole time Earl trained people getting ready for the NBA. I'm like, oh, that's why you so cold to all the rest of this shit. His brother DeVearl, shout out DeVearl, shout out Gerald, but his brother DeVearl was on Team USA. He played for Nevada. They got all types of connections. Earl, he's real tapped in with the Drew League. He runs the team for the Women's Drew League. But anyway, he started bringing me to these workouts, and he was getting ready to send Marvin Bagley off to college. He was about to he was still at Sierra Canyon because that's where DeVearl went, his little brother. And they were really that first wave of everybody starting to go to Sierra Canyon.
Went to Sierra Canyon.
See, people don't even know that Marvin Bagley went to Sierra Canyon, bro. He did one season at Sierra Canyon, and then he skipped his senior year because if you go watch his junior year highlights, he got no business being playing against these high school kids, bro. So he committed to Duke on ESPN, but it was right before that when I had first met him because Earl just had me rebounding for him and workouts. Him and his brother Marcus, shout out my boy Marcus, Martre, who really finna be the coldest. I ain't gonna lie, Martre, young as hell, already 6'6", something crazy like that. So Martre finna go crazy. But the Bagley family, they showed me a lot of love. Earl Ramsey, he made that connection. Bro, the way that happened was my boy when I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, so Marv had just got this crib back in AZ because that's where he's from, and he was like, man, y'all gotta come help me break in the crib, pull up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, all right, bet. I slide with Earl. We driving from Los Angeles over to Phoenix. This little 6-hour drive, ain't nothing. On the way there, I'm working on this song that Marv had sent me because I had asked him to like get on the song, but I didn't know if he remembered or not. I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna write this shit. And he called me in the car. He's like, hey, are you writing a verse? I swear, as I'm writing the verse, I'm like, what the fuck? It was almost on some 2 tapped in shit. And 2 days later, he puts me in the studio for the first time. I'm nervous as hell. Like, I have no experience. I had never recorded myself, none of that. He got all my closest homies outside on the other side of the glass, like 15 of them. I'm in there for 20 minutes sweating bullets. I'm like, bro, I'm probably the worst rapper. I might be the worst rapper alive, dog. I ain't never finna make it. But nah, I laid down. It's a song called Who Dat. I'm not even listed as a feature. It's on one of his albums. Like, literally no one even knows about that shit. But then, man, we had a couple conversations after that. And then, 9 months go by, and this is that COVID year when I'm driving Postmates at school and shit. And I just get this FaceTime. I'm at my homie's crib, and he calls me out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, bro, let's do it. And I'm like, do what? He's like, I'm starting a label. I'm like, you starting a label? I'm like, that's fire for you. And he's like,
That's fire for you.
and he's like, nah, nigga, for us. I was like, for us? He was like, yeah, bro, we better turn this shit up. I was like, oh shit. And from that day, he put me in the stool, and he's, he's backed me ever since. And like, he's really let me just maintain creative control and like understanding what it means to develop as an artist, get with people like Renzel and build my sound and my frequencies so I could reach as many people as possible. So that's my dog forever. That's family for life. Like, man, MB35, bro, that shit turned up. We gonna do some crazy shit. He's a dreamer. He's like me. He's a visionary. Like he has big dreams, bro. So like I want to see to the end of that. You know what I'm saying? And now he want to see it too. So it's like, man, we finna lock in, bro, and really do some crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie.
That shit funny. So, bro, you said that's raw for you.
Yeah, because I was like, bro, because I'm like, what that got to do with me? But no, he like, hey, man, you finna rap. It was after I put this little freestyle on Instagram. Like, it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
So why be the first to be signed to an athlete's label, right? I mean, that's family, but as a business decision, why did that make sense for you?
I know a lot of times they say don't mix family and business, but like you said, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? I feel blessed and privileged to be around people with access to some resources, like in the sense of knowledge. Like, you know what I mean? It's definitely people I just met along the way, but like, even sitting down with Renzel in the studio, like what he's been around, for the last like 15 years being in Chicago. So it's like that influencing my journey just makes me feel a lot more comfortable of growing, you know what I'm saying, and taking a risk. And also it's like, man, I love this hoop shit. And also on some real talk, bro, I know every single kid in America wants to hoop or rap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, we doing that. Like, and we gonna do it at the highest level. And it's like, why not marry the world that they always just flirted that line in between? And like when Marv came to me with that shit, and he's really an artist. Like, he not just stepping in the booth and rapping some shit. Marv got shit, bro. I'm talking Marv really be in the booth laying down artist records, like on some real shit. Like, and me seeing how he works, because I also been with him in the off season. Like, we in Miami, it was whatever. He having his good times, he doing whatever. He up every morning, 6, 7 a.m., working out twice a day. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that, like, how could I not want to be a part of that? It's like, you got a work ethic that's different. This goes deeper than music. It goes deeper than business. You know how to stand on yourself as an individual. So it's like, all right, bet. Let's lock in.
That is built different, right? Because not only are you're living a dream as an NBA player, but you're chasing another dream as an artist.
Bro, and it's like, and that's the thing too, is like, I think you said it too, is like he's chasing. He knows that he got to chase it. And I think that's part of the reason why he loves it so much, is because it's the same reason he fell in love with basketball. He's been in love with basketball, is because like he's a passionate individual. And it's like, bro, we gonna follow our hearts. You know what I'm saying? We artists. He an artist, period. Like on the basketball court, in the studio, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's a mentality thing. So that you can't just contain them to one thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you're going to see that. You're going to start seeing that more and more. I just found out that Bijan Robinson is an actor on Disney Channel and shit. He like an NFL.
The
like
running back?
Yeah, bro.
You're
My
lying.
boy just told me that. I'm like, he be in. I'm like, hey, bro, if Bijan Robinson could be in Disney Channel, then Marvin Bagley could make a hot ass record for
He's
the radio.
in Disney Channel for real?
That's what he told me. We gonna have to fact check it, but that's what they told. That's what I
don't know
heard.
if I believe that
That's
one.
bro. That's what I heard.
Maybe he did like a guest appearance.
A guest appearance, but they said he really be acting. But on some real shit, I respect that. It's not even a joke. Like, for real, like, bro, if that's what he owned, it's like, fuck. If people are really, really good at multiple things, if people are literally gifted from God at multiple things, let them cook.
In what ways has the label helped you develop not only as an artist but as a person?
So I think a lot of it, you know, with 3-5, like I said, it's about that hard work, and it's about really understanding that it's a journey. You know what I mean? And I think what they were really good at early on is just showing me the value of patience, because everybody needs that. Period. Whether you're an artist or not, you know what I'm saying. But when you patient in this artistry, you will get rewarded. It's no other way to say it. Like, it get ugly, bro. It get nasty. It get, well, I'm talking month to month, first of the month, all type. It get real ugly. But every time I've seen it, it's like when you wait, the reward is just, it's tenfold, hundredfold. Like, you couldn't even account for it. I done found myself looked up in positions. And like, that's the crazy thing about the Netflix too, because, you know, we shoot it a little bit before it come out. So like, I did all that stuff. I'm in front of Eminem rap battling. I'm in front of DJ Khaled doing it. Like, I'm doing all that shit. And then I just came home one day, and then people was just like, "What up, Rhome?" And I'm just like, what up? My life didn't change, but the way I viewed myself did. Everything is perspective. You know what I mean? So it's like, when I get to really, really thinking about what this label was doing for me, it's patience, bro. It's like, man, and think about Marv, or think about all these athletes being in the gym when you 11, 12 years old and nobody knows your name. And like, now, yeah, they try to rank these middle schoolers and all that shit, but nah, no one knows who you are. There's way too many kids in the world trying to do it. So really just understanding that you're going to have to do that work behind closed doors, and it's going to be a long time before somebody sees something. Patience.
Have the people out here met him?
Bro, you know what's crazy? You just said that, bro. We just, all right. Ooh, we finna get spicy. Okay. So me and my boy Marv working on a lot of music, you know what I'm saying? But I will say Marv just went over to Shapes the other day. He had a little stop by in Chicago. He popped by, was able to meet Renzel. We was able to work on some music, bro, and like really just get into a cooking vibe. And yeah. So he's in the family, you know what I'm saying? Marv is in the Shapes family. 3-5 is in the Shapes family for sure. I think I just posted a little picture in the dump the other day. You know, I don't post that much, but there is a little picture somewhere of me, Marv, and Zell with the Shapes logo in the background. And yeah, bro, that was a beautiful moment for me, like for real, because you know, I was in school, I was finishing up, and obviously Marv's in the league, so it's like he can't just slide. Like, it's like, yo, it's like, yo, I'm at the studio. He like, oh, real? I got the Hawks tonight. It's like, it's like, damn, oh, bet. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So for him to be able to stop by, just would have schedules, you know, line up like that, especially with all the show stuff going on, like, and for us to be able to sit there and cook, like, especially with Zell, and do that like the Shapes way, and do that the way of Chicago, the way we've been making music this past couple of years, like, that was a special moment. So it's a lot of cool things that's gonna come for that, for sure.
Worlds colliding type shit. And I think we're gonna talk about that more, but I think that's part of the aspect of home, right? Because, you know, you joined a fraternity, you went to college, you signed to a label, you joined the studio family. Like, I see a lot of like what I've done in you,
in the sense of like community, like looking for that community, and see, yeah,
You kind of like search for this family, you search for this place where you're accepted, and sometimes it doesn't work out in certain aspects, or you know, there's one thing that you get from somebody that you're not getting from the other. So I don't know. I found that interesting when I was, you know, doing the research and looking.
Yeah, and you know that's, you know, I appreciate you for bringing that up, that you could recognize that, because, you know, it's even, I'm an only child, you know what I'm saying, and that shocks a lot of people because of how I am like that, like, because I'm so communal and I want to be with the fam, and when I get with my homies, it's like, oh, these my dogs, these my brothers, but that's because that's what it's always been. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to get real used to finding a community outside of the crib, because my crib was empty a lot of times just because my parents working. You know what I'm saying? They working hella, like, I'm waking up, they gone already. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back home, they not back yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they gave me a different level of independence and freedom that I also thank them to this day for. Like, when I was real young, I was like 12, 13 when my parents kind of like stopped asking, like, when you coming home, where you at? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm in downtown LA, and like, you know, we got buses, we got train, we everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the homies, and like, you know, I hope they not tripping when they see this. But but it's like, you know, they knew I was safe, they knew I was sound, they knew I was smart. And them letting me live my life like that is even what allowed me to be in Chicago like all this time, like, you know what I'm saying, on my own, and like even through the COVID and all that while we was at school, because it's like, bro, what, like, I'm out here with the homies, like we making music, like, you know what I'm saying, we out here chasing our purpose, like this is bigger than everything else. And with what you said in terms of community, like when we find that, I was always looking for that my whole life. So like whenever there's people who, even if the doors ain't always wide open, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's somebody that you do gotta, you know, go talk to and build a relationship with at first, it's like, yo, those relationships are gonna be what supports you for the rest of your journey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean that like mentally, emotionally, I'm talking about all the things that matter so you can continue to wake up in the morning. You know, I like finance, everything out of whatever that comes at a different cost. You know what I'm saying? But you being able to lay your head at night and be like, I had a good day. I felt good about today. For me, that's when I was around a bunch of people or on the phone with somebody or, you know, really was in that communal field. That's when I lay my head at night and I'm like, all right, bet I did my little work for the world today because I showed love and I felt the love. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that showed up everywhere, bro. Like everywhere I was able to find groups of people that were looking for committed individuals to give something to them, and then like they'll give back. You know what I'm saying? In sense of just growing up the community together as a whole. I'm for all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm for all that.
And I think it's dope that you've been able to maintain those relationships and maintain a want to be inside those communities, right? I think that for me, it's kind of almost, I wouldn't say that I don't want to be inside a community, but I think that it's almost an opposite experience, right? I think that every place where I thought I fit in, I ended up not fitting in. And it just wasn't the place I was supposed to be. I probably just choose wrong, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but you know it's crazy you say that though, because bro, you have to, if you don't know what you don't want, you ain't gonna know shit. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't never gonna know what you really want. Because like that's always finna change. You always gonna find something new. You always gonna see some new shit. Especially now, bro. You finna turn your phone on every morning and be like, damn, I might want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when the goalposts are moving that much, bro, the shit, you gotta let yourself be okay with like not fitting in somewhere, failing somewhere, because that's actually blessing you. The problem becomes when you trying to fit the motherfucking square piece into the circle hole, bro. They teach you that when you a baby, when you young, like, hey man, don't force it. You know what I'm saying? And there's some things that are worth fighting for always. And you, cause like I'm with that. I don't force myself in some places. I'm like, nah, y'all gonna feel wrong. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna feel me up in here. But at the same time, it's like, it's with grace. It's always with grace. Those are also the type of places where they're like, nah, we're gonna give you a little resistance to see if you really want this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to see if you really like are willing to put in what it takes to what we're gonna do as a community. And because you always gotta bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying? Always feel like you gotta bring something to the table. It's rare when you meet people that don't expect you to bring anything to the table. You know what I'm saying? And when you find those people, bring them close. Hug them, love them, because they gonna accept you and they gonna love you, you know, and even if it ain't forever, like I said, I'm not gonna say nothing is forever, but there's a lot of things that's not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, hold on to the things that is the love that's real, that's around you. It will come and go though, and it's gonna hurt when it's gone and when it doesn't work and when it fails, but when you find it, you gonna know. And you not gonna know if you just was walking around thinking everything was for you and now you trying to force it and you never let go because now you can't learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Like now you gonna be stuck in that little pocket that you was in forever because you wasn't like stepping back and being like, oh, that's the bad thing. I need to remove myself from the bad thing so I can get over here. You know what I'm saying? And this is where I'm actually supposed to be for right now. Because then this also might be some other shit that you need to leave later. But it's like, bro, it's a journey, fam. You got to find your people along the way because it's when the goalposts move. That's real life. That's why they say life ain't fair. You tee that shit up. Oops.
So you mentioned having to be on your own a lot growing up, right? You had that independence, and a lot of people want that when they're growing up. In what ways did that independence and that lack of presence from your parents negatively impact you? And I don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing too, is like my parents, bro, they always showed up when they could. Like my dad, like he tried to make every single basketball thing that he possibly could. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom, she was working at the high school that I ended up going to, you know what I'm saying? But I still wasn't seeing her that much because of her job and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Schedules just wasn't really aligning. But we still, that's just how, you know, they showed me that love can be distant and the strongest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the reason why I'm even able to do what I do right now. And honestly, why I think I'm gonna be able to do what I could do for the rest of my career, because I know that love can exist even when it's all the way over there. You know what I'm saying? Like I always knew that my parents had my back. Like they always made sure, like if it wasn't food on our table, and I was at somebody's house where it was food on the table. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't hold them. I can't hold them for nothing for that. And that's why I hear what you're saying that you're not asking like that either. And I would say that the only thing that it did on the back end is now I'm like okay, so it's like me processing my own shit. Like people asking me like, "Hey, what'd you do today?" Or like, "How are you?" You know what I'm saying? Because like I didn't have much of that. Like I had no siblings. I had no like even in LA, like I didn't have any cousins close by. Like I had one grandparent that was alive for most of my life. Like it was very very small. Like it was just me and my parents, and they were always working. So it's like I had to get real used to self-correction, self-assessment, like going through things, and I'm the only one that's there to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And also, if it's like I'm outside, it's downtown, it's 8 p.m., I might not have told my parents exactly where I was at. And then some shit come up, I'm like, well, I gotta handle this because ain't nobody else here. I can't call nobody. I can't call my brother to be like, damn, it's like, what do I do right here? You know what I'm saying? So, but what it did though is it just made me learn how to adapt to everything. You know what I'm saying? So there's the good part is now I can adapt. Now I can go with the flow, and I can always be. And then the part that I'm working on is sitting with things. You know what I'm saying? And like really processing. You know what I'm saying? And really being like, oh, okay, like there's so much shit going on. When do I just sit back and be like, oh damn, I'm on Netflix? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but shit, when does it, but it's I still feel really good about it. I have a lot of faith. I got a lot of great people around me. Like God is real big for me, just in sense of a crutch. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I still feel so blessed to the things that I'm working through to be something like that, of me just, learning how to express myself more, and that's where the music comes into play. It's like, that's how I express myself seamlessly. Like I'll write shit and I'll be like, bro, I don't even understand it until a year after it's released, 2 years after it's written. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm writing things and it's a message for me that I'm not even understanding. So, I love the process of it. You know what I'm saying? Like my story made me a very certain way to take a lot of people's emotions in, a lot of the world's feelings in, and process it, and then take a little extra second when processing my own. But I feel like it makes me a good representation of the world, and that's kind of where I want to be in my journey right now.
To be able to understand that at 22 is crazy. J Taj,
Yeah, I just turned 23 in March. It was in March, but yeah, I'm 23 now.
J Taj lied on your name, huh?
Hey, bro. Hey, nah, J Taj, that's my dog, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Playing with your sister in the backyard.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't got those sisters. But this is why I always say though, like he in that rap battle specifically, like he chose the general lines that was like, and he talked about it too. You know what I'm saying? For the crowd, he told his story. He wrote that shit. He a poet. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. I can't hold him to it. Like I would say the same thing if I was really thinking like, we on Netflix. They not gonna know what the truth is and shit like that.
Did you cry in your audition tape?
There's definitely no footage of me. I gotta say no, but there's definitely not one footage of me shedding no tears in Netflix's inbox. But it's cool though.
I was trying to find that shit. I'm like, where is this? Where is this coming from?
It's all good, bro. You gotta give it to him, dog. He was in the hotel writing some shit. I gotta give it to him, bro. Gotta give it to him.
That's true. I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna lie. But all I'm saying is, damn, there's 2 caps I just pulled out.
Man, hey, bro, that's my dog, bro. He went crazy. Everybody on that show, actually, it's cool. Like, even I don't know if you was gonna ask about it, but like, I think a cool thing about that show was experiencing the artists that have been serious about it for so long. Like, I know I talked about it a little bit earlier, like with Dono and Surah, but like, bro, everybody has been chasing their craft for so long, and that's the other thing to even tie it back to the thing I said about Chicago is like, I'm coming back home, like, bro, we good. Like, just keep going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, oh, so you saying you did it? Oh, you just kept going. Okay, bet. I'm talking to this person. Oh, you just did this? Oh, you just kept going. Okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I'm like, man, just keep going, bro. Cause man, we never know who our music is reaching. We never know who's coming across our page. Like, bro, I literally just posted this little verse at the front of this little photo dump that's like my favorite thing I ever written to date. I got a voice note that's like in the cut for one of my next albums. That's one of my favorite things I ever recorded to date. And it's like, there's a certain feeling and emotion that you can put behind things, and being able to capture that and recognize that and assess that. It's how you feed your soul, man.
You know what the main thing is, bro? It's like, it's when you see somebody I'm not saying you because you're actually younger than me, which is crazy. But it's when you see these 16 and 18-year-olds popping off and getting signed to these major labels off of some shit that you're like, this?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? Because it's like, it's industry, bro. You know how industry gonna go, but it's the same thing I said before about what 3-5 has showed me with Studio Shapes, Zell has showed me. It's like patience, bro. It's like, and it's tough to turn down $1 million probably when you're 17. I wouldn't know. But it's probably very challenging, especially if it's really could change all the people around you life. But it's just like when you're trying to build for longevity, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know that it's gonna take time. Like that shit is not gonna happen overnight. Like, and sometimes it does. Like sometimes your overnight moment when you 16, 17 and you just got signed to $1 million, $5 million, something like that. It's like, hey, maybe that's part of your 20-year career. And like, just don't smoke it, But then it's also just like you gotta have the right people, you gotta have the right influences. There's so many things that go into play, and like it's really all just lines up with your blessings, you know what I'm saying? And timing, divine timing.
So the song I pulled, right?
Oh, fire! You got a song.
I didn't pull one of your songs.
Oh,
we'll talk about those in a second.
Yeah,
we'll talk about those in a second. But I pulled this song because in the song "Everything Will Be Okay" by G-Eazy.
Oh,
another California native.
He up in the Bay. 7 hours between LA and the Bay. Shout out to him though.
So in the first verse of "Everything Will Be Okay," he talks about having to chase this dream, right? Having to go move. I forgot where the fuck he moved to. I think it was like Louisiana or some shit. I don't remember. I used to really like G-Eazy. This is also what I used to do. I used to watch interviews all the time, so it makes sense, right? But anyways, in the song, he says, contemplating just who I could have turned out to be. If I had stayed and weren't heard, what would amount to me? If I had looked and ain't found what I have found in me. I mean, inside, would they love me? Never look down on me. I'm going to read the whole thing because I really like this verse. They say, if you loved her, well, then you would have stayed. You could have made a perfect pair that people wouldn't trade. Trade for nothing I did, though I had to chase it. Face it, I wasn't born to live a life basic. They say you turned your back on us just to go and be an artist. What's a promise anyway when someone breaks it? I bet he finally gets a shot and then he wastes it. I bet he don't come back for us when he makes it. And if he do, it be too late, you gotta face it, cause by then there's someone new you've been replaced with. Old friends I grew up with, the girl I fell in love with, love or hate me depending on how you judge it.
Damn, G-Eazy? I know G-Eazy look good like that. Damn, he was spitting on that jump.
And with that song, right, obviously talking about having to leave is something that you had to do, right? And it's crazy because oftentimes we'll sacrifice things that we love. We sacrifice the comfort of what we call home. We sacrifice the people that we call home.
To chase
a dream that was never promised to us. To chase a dream that was never guaranteed to us. Something that we just decided, hey, I like this. Let me go see what I can make of it. And like he said, right? By the time you come back, you've been replaced. That girl that you were in love with, she found a new dude.
Hey, no cap.
She said, I couldn't wait anymore.
I'm like, this nigga said he did research using my text message.
Your homies, they found a new you, bro.
Oh, man. Hey, bro. Nah, but hey, I think the thing is, so, like, with LA, bro, I got a lot of love, bro. Like I said, I had so much love growing up, being at other people's cribs, like, other people's moms, like, cooking dinners for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going home, and, like, my homie is raising his little sister, like, I'm talking we homies for 10, 11 years, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, seeing these types of things, playing basketball in the backyard, my homie did Will, and like his mom, like, yo, come on, y'all, come get this food in the house. Like, I'm getting all these types of experiences, you know what I'm saying, still, and living through other people's experiences, but really feeling them as my own, because I'm still there. I'm with them. I'm at your dinner table with your fam, with Graham, you know what I'm saying? I'm with all y'all, and I think, like, now, even though I've been gone for like 5 years and I feel it, I'm a private dude. I don't be on my stories. I don't post all the time. I don't be dropping as much music as I used to. I feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm falling into my artistry. I'm falling into, having sit down talks like these, you know what I'm saying? When I get the opportunity, but shit, I'm on the go. I don't got a lot of time to sit and talk. And I also don't want a lot of time to sit and talk because I'm finna tell y'all the music. But being gone for this last 5 years, people not really knowing what I've been on, where I'm coming from. But me always feeling the love. And like, cause in the last 5 years, I've probably been home like maybe When I go home next week, it'll probably be like the 10th time I've been home in like 5 weeks, like in like 5 years. And I was home for that little COVID stretch for the couple months we all in the crib or whatever. But since then, like each time be like 5 days max, you know what I'm saying, that I'm there. Like I really been in Chicago or elsewhere. Like I have not been in LA. I ain't done really no music moves in LA. Like I ain't done shit in LA. Like, so for me to be gone for the last 5 years like that, it's exactly what you said. It's like, God damn, we don't know what Rome on. But like I said, I had so much love, bro, and it was genuine and it was real. And these people, because of the way that I came up, like, you really my brother, you really my sister, that's really my cousin, like actually because of how we came up. So it's like they with me always. And I can't wait to the next time I go home is gonna be the first time I've been home since I've been on Netflix. So now it's like, oh, we finna go home and have us a good little time. So I can't wait to see my dogs, bro.
So then for you, why leave everything that you knew behind to come chase a degree in Chicago or Evanston?
I got a scholarship. They threw an academic scholarship. So I was locked into that before I even knew it. I damn near did a little retirement tour my second half of senior year of high school because everybody like, don't nobody know Northwestern. They like, oh, Rome going to Chicago. I'm like, yeah, y'all finna go to Chicago.
They don't know Northwestern out there?
Hell no, they don't know Northwestern.
It's like one of the biggest.
I know it's one of the best. I know, but bro, I'm telling you, like even all my homies and stuff too. Like a lot of my homies, they wasn't going to school, they not going to college and stuff. So it's like all my homies, like, oh yeah, Rome about to just move. You know what I'm saying? And I think even for me, it damn near downplayed it for me. When I get out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just finna move and like just go to school and shit. So even coming up here, and then it's COVID, so we not even on campus, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, I probably did the least amount of Northwestern related things of any Northwestern alumni ever. Now like, I was heavy with the basketball and heavy with all that stuff too, but in terms of sitting in the class and walking around campus, like I was in Chicago. I was running loose. You know what I'm saying? I was in Studio Shade, so I was with Renzel. I was with my boy Seventh, Michael. We running around trying to make shit happen. So, what I really saw, like you say, why I leave everything behind? Something in my spirit told me I had to leave LA. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, LA is the mecca of what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to be an artist, and actually I wasn't even trying to be an artist when I first left LA, but if I'm trying to do something great, I know that it's going to end me back in LA. So I gotta go get it somewhere else. I saw something once that said, regardless of what you're trying to do, if you're trying to get it, you gotta go make it somewhere else. Not where they saw you and they call you your government name and like where you was growing up and they known you since elementary school and his mama knew your mama and you just like her. Like it's tough to make it there because everybody's seeing you so close. Like everybody like, you can't do the Super Bowl halftime show because we was in third grade together. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like now let you do the Super Bowl halftime, so they're like, oh shit, you did the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that, and obviously I'm using grand examples, but I think the thought process of it is the same.
There's this perceived idea of who you need to be.
Right.
People expect this person that they seen grow up. They expect you to do some regular ass shit.
I ain't gonna lie, I had regular ass dreams, bro. I did. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be a mailman. And then at one point, oh God, bro, he got
a mailman is crazy.
Bro, hey, nah, look, but hear me out though, because I had small dreams, bro. Everybody around me, like, yeah, they like, oh, I'm finna go to the NBA, I'm finna do this, I'm finna do that. But I didn't see that for myself at the time. I didn't see some lights, camera, action, I didn't see all that. So I'm not thinking about, and everybody else is like, I'm gonna be a lawyer or a doctor. And I'm like, well, that's two options that I don't want to do. So I was like, I'm finna find some other shit. And like, bro, I'll be on some regular shit. Like I'm telling you, I will walk everywhere. Like I'm walking to school, I'm walking to friends, I'm walking all across the city of Los Angeles, and I'm just seeing shit. So I'm like, yeah, I want to be a mailman. Or I'm like walking in the store and I'm like, oh shit, I would bag groceries. And I'm like, I'm thinking like, yeah, bro, I'm just like, but again, it was just coming from smaller dreams, bro. It was just coming from smaller things. And like, even up until the point when I came all the way out to Chicago to go to school, bro, like, am I really just now seeing like, oh shit, the world is way bigger than I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Like way bigger. And also I'm just capable of so much more. Like God blessed me in too many ways to, I'm not gonna say not to be a mailman or be a grocery store, but it's like shit, if I was gonna do that, I know I was gonna have to be the best at that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, why not just be the best at this?
So then why study African American studies?
When I first went to school, I was finna do like sports broadcast journalism. I was like, I'm finna be a commentator. I'm gonna be a play-by-play commentator, and I'm finna commentate games in only ways niggas would want to watch games. Like, I was like, bro, like if there was a TV channel where like you could really just sit and you just like listening to the homies like watching, but it's really professionally broadcast like TNT. Like, bro, imagine that halftime show with Barkley and shit, uncensored. That's what I was on. I was like, okay, but we gonna change the world. But when I got there, I took a couple African American studies classes, and I was like, oh wait, you actually are teaching us a lot about life here. And I had this professor, and he told me I'll never forget it. He was like, if you black, then taking black studies is learning how to live. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, I want to learn how to live. So, bro, I literally like I didn't do, you know, at school, you know, they want you to do a lot of like double majors, double minors, all types of stuff. But bro, I only did one major. I had one thing, and I was just an African American studies major. And it's crazy because by the time I was done, I had taken 16 FM classes, bro. So I did enough to get the degree twice. But yeah, but it was just because that's what I was so infatuated with. Like I started realizing, you know, we in these classes, like, and it's actually crazy because, bro, I get to school, I ain't know that the little numbers in front of the class meant something. So I'm just reading the titles and shit. So I took all the 300 level, all the hardest FM classes in my freshman year because they just sounded the most interesting to me. But then those classes was basically just discussions. So I'm getting in the class and I'm just talking to everybody like 3-4 years older than me, but it's just about life. And I'm learning about people's experiences, and we're learning about it through these historical texts and through these, but it's like, nah, we really just breaking down how to live for real. And then I was like, oh, damn. I should probably stick with this.
So you're telling me you're not only smart, but you're smart as shit. Is what you're saying. Like, what the fuck?
I know a thing or two about a thing or two, bro. But honestly, I think my blessing is, you know, I try to have it inform my writing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realized towards the back end of my time of school when I really, because also, okay, this is what I'll say too. My last year at Northwestern, there was this internship program that I did with Studio Shapes, and like I was working like on music and, you know, still being an intern at the studio, but I was using my hours and working on my Hometown Hero album. Like that's pretty much what I did during my senior year of college. Like it was a class where you're just doing the internship and you meet once a week. And I had my car, and Renzel just opened the first Studio Shapes location at Albany Park, and bro, I was literally just making Hometown Hero like every night of my senior year with my boy Seventh. He was just starting out recording everything. Renzel was cooking up the beats, and that's how we made that whole album. And then like, you know, us dropping it, that was like my real graduation. Like because like I said, I ain't spend that much time at school when I was in college. But when Hometown Hero came out, I was like, nah, that's my thesis. That's my thesis statement right there. For sure.
So you mentioned that they said that African American studies, if you're black in America, that's your way to live. What was the most important lesson you learned throughout that time?
I think the craziest thing when you look at like just the history of black people, especially in the United States of America, right? Because again, African American studies is very different than like Africana and studying the diaspora and stuff like that. It's like, nah, we was very specific to studying what's happening in the United States. So, you know, it was important to me being from where I'm from, being from LA, a big urban city, going to Chicago, a big city. I was like, no, I want to study the history of what's happening here. And, you know, I one of the things that I studied at Northwestern was Black feminist theory. And man, there's a writer, Black feminist writer named Adrienne Marie Brown, and she has this monologue to open up one of her books or one of her works, and basically she's just saying like, I'm going to challenge a lot of things in what I'm about to say, and I will be open to every single one of your critiques that you have for me, but I also need you to be open to everything that I'm about to say to you, you know? And honestly, that was like, if I could sum it all up, it's perspective. But in what she really just said is like, okay, yeah, you have your thoughts and opinions, you have your perspectives, you have your realities, but I also have mine. And especially if you think about, you know, just in the context of what black women have gone through in the history of this, you know, in the history of this country. But it's like, what she's really saying is like, nigga, my experiences is just as valid as yours. You know what I mean? And I always felt that in school. It's crazy because I always hated school. I hated school, bro. Like, I feel like I got to say this too if we talk about this Northwestern shit, because I never talk about anywhere else. But like, bro, Like growing up, nigga, I was getting kicked out of every single classroom, bro. Like I was going back and forth with all my teachers. Like I'm spending like just outside. Like I was going to the principal's office, all types of shit. Like I had like 1 or 2 fights here and there. Like yeah, maybe, but nah, really just like questioning authority.
You know why that was, right?
Why is that?
Because your parents weren't around.
Nah, right. Hey, you know what's crazy? That's real shit. I ain't gonna lie. No, it was not on some real shit. I was the perfect example of the kid that wasn't getting enough attention at home and was acting out of school. But my problem was I was also smart as shit. So I'm in LAUSD. I'm just smacking all these little public school assignments, and I'm like, bro, you can't hold me. I'm like, I just did this little worksheet.
You were the worst type of kid.
Yeah, because what the teacher gonna say? I'm doing all your thing, and now I'm just talking. She gonna move me. Oop, I talk to them too. You gonna move me back to class? Oop, that's my homie too. So I just spend a lot of time outside. But I say all that to say is like, I had a teacher that also told me something in 6th grade. He was like, look, he told my dad this actually. He was like, your son has a great way of coming to his own conclusions that are also correct. But it is not teaching your son how to work in the team or apply himself to the world, because the rest of the class don't do it like that. He's like, yeah, he's doing it a right way, but that's not the way that we're teaching it. And, you know, I side with that. And it's like, he's right, because I've also heard things that's like, man, only an insane man would expect the world to adapt to him. So, you know, you have to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, you know. But then the only way that I would fire back and be like, well, shit, like, we could just leave some shit. Like, I could teach you a new way to do something. I could show you a new way to do something. But I understand where he's coming from in the sense that you do got to learn how to be a part of a team. That's an important step. You got to be able to take a step back and make it not about you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. It's like, shit, if I'm in here talking and doing all the shit and talking to my homies, you know, I needed that for me. But that's not what everybody needed at the time. So, you know, that me saying all that, I ended up having some hell. It was crazy. Like up until 10th grade, all my teachers, we beefing. It's ugly. 11th and 12th grade, all of my teachers loved me. College, all my professors loved me, because I feel like now I'm just talking to people. I was old enough to understand that I'm not questioning authority. I can actually ask you a question about authority. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a little bit different. And that's what showed me just how to learn and maneuver through this world. And that's the same thing I tie back to what Adrienne Marie Brown said, is like, shit, you can tell me what you want to say about what I got to say, but you have to at least consider the things that I'm saying.
I want to point that out, right? It's not about what you're saying. It's about how you're saying it, right? It's about how you come about it.
That, you know, you got to learn about consequences. And that's damn near what my teacher was telling me, is like, bro, he got to learn about consequences. Like, it don't matter if he right every single time. It don't matter if I'm questioning the authority of my teacher and I'm actually correct. Bro, you can't just be up here causing ruckus. And, you know, some people argue and be like, shit, you can't be up here causing ruckus. Like, we supposed to be here being disruptors. And, you know, I've understand just how to channel my energy as a disruptor.
How much of an influence did studying African-American studies have on your first project, Uncle Mac?
Damn, it's actually crazy that you say that, because so Uncle Mac, the history of it, he's based on real people from my family, like real person from my family. So my dad, like my family, they big on historians. They real private, but they want to know their own history. You know what I'm saying? So he actually found like these articles from like, it was like the ex-slave articles from like Mississippi or something like that. Or no, Missouri. And there's literally an entire 7-page interview from my great-great-grandfather. There might be one more great, I don't know. But and his name, everybody called him Uncle Mac. And like he was around the St. Louis area, around the Festus area, and early on, like hella early on. Like he was born a slave, and he saw freedom in his lifetime. And they had a whole article, like a whole interview about him. And that shit, like, bro, put into crazy perspective, because I told you, I'm in college reading all these texts and shit, and my dad just sent me this interview from like my great-great-grandfather, and I'm like, bro, I look like that. I just got to sign this for homework, but this is my real life and my real history. So Uncle Mac is my mixtape. It's my first mixtape, and it's like, it was my experimentation of what it looks like to build something of meaning. You know what I'm saying? Build something, a project. Because that's how I view my projects. Like with Hometown Hero, with what I want to do on my next album, like projects are special to me. So Uncle Mac was that first exploration of But first exploration inward, I would say. Like inwards of my soul, I would actually say. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the type of music that you're hearing, the character that Uncle Mac represents. You know, a lot of there's some influence, like I said, it's from family, undercover brother, you know, all that type of feels and stuff like that. You know, I wanted to have that funk, that feel. We gonna bring Uncle Mac back for sure. Return of the Mac for sure is on the way. But no, that project was special because it was a real first exploration of myself and my history in music.
Why was it so important for you to create this piece of art? In a previous interview that I had read or a previous article, you mentioned that it was this character and this world you kind of had built.
Yeah.
But a lot of what you're talking about, obviously, is your everyday life.
Another thing that I learned and really saw as I just being around my homies, period, kind of growing up, is like how we all like anime and we all like fantasy. And like, I don't know, all niggas just like some mystical shit, bro. Like that shit crazy, right? But then you actually go to school and you learn about crazy shit about like the things that we're going through as like black people in society or just oppressed people, period, in society, that your outlet is going to become some type of fantasy sometimes because it's the only thing that you can cling on to, that there's actually a created reality somewhere else that is more appeasing and more comfortable than the one that you walk through every day. And when I think about Uncle Mac and I think about what we're doing as artists when we create, it's like, how can I package my story and my feeling and how can I give it the same life that like these comics and these cartoons and like the things that just make you feel good. Like, you know, how do the things that just make you feel good, how do you represent that in every way? And even when it's some real heavy shit. So, you know, I think Uncle Mac, it was an early exploration of just like one, my writing, me putting songs together for the first time. But on some real shit, on some deeper shit, you know, I put that there as my first mixtape because, you know, that's going to be built on, you know what I'm saying? That's going to have a lot to do with the rest of my journey here.
When you talk about it like that, even listening to the intro track,
man, shout out like Renzel, shout out The Mind. Like, bro, when I'll never forget when The Mind, bro, literally, man, I got to tell the story. Like, I was at Classics, and I used to go to, before I had met Renzel, it was I was recording at Classics with Devin Hudson. And Devin Hudson, shout out Devin Hudson, he the one that introduced me to Renzel. And when we was getting at Classics, I used to literally just like get in between classes for like an hour, 2 hours. Like, or maybe I'm pulling up at like 11 p.m. and we going until 2 a.m. I'm writing papers in class or in the studio, like all types of shit. And I remember pulling up one day and I was supposed to have a session. And I had lost my voice a little bit. And the time before when we was working on the album, Devin had told me like, bro, my homie The Mind, you should try to work with him. Like, you know, he be here sometimes. Like, I'm gonna see if I can catch you guys. Like, woo woo. I was like, all right, bet that'll be cool as hell. Like, you know, I was familiar with him for sure, so I was like, hey, say less. Like, that'll be crazy. Next time I come in there, he's like, hey, bro, The Mind is next door. You want me to just go get him real quick? I was like, oh, all right, bro. I'm supposed to have a session. I was supposed to have a class like 47 minutes after The Mind walked in the room. I was like, fuck that class. And then we talked for like 2 hours, bro. And it was the first time sitting down, like chopping, I feel like in my artist journey with like a real artist that had been through part of their career and still an early part of his career because he about to go crazy. Shout out The Mind.
Shout out The Mind.
Yeah, shout out The Mind for real. Man,
Sad boy.
Shout out The Mind, man.
Sad boy loves The
Man.
Mind.
Sad boy love The Mind, man. Everybody love The Mind.
He gave us $3 million.
Yeah, come on, bro. Shout out to The Mind. But during that conversation, I talked to him about my project. I asked him a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you know, whenever I get in front of somebody that I'm like, okay, you can tell me something, I ask everything. But we got to talking about the project that he ended up working on. And he said, man, just the night before, I was with Smino and we was watching Black Dynamite, bro. And I swear to God, you got me in this whole little funk bag. He's like, man, I got you. Bro, I sent him the beat. The next day, I'm sitting in my kitchen with my homie. I get this little email and play the intro for the first time, bro, off this little speaker. I was like, oh my God, this is music. I was like, this is music, bro. Like, this is something that he like ripped out of the part of my brain. Renzel produced it. You know what I'm saying? He already had, bro, I'm telling you, like, that music showed me that there was so much more for me in this. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm barely even on the intro or the interlude. Interlude is crazy. We did the interlude the same type of way, bro. Like,
You know what I be imagining? I literally be imagining like
uh,
Uncle Mac walking down the street,
Yup.
bro,
Paint
cartoon,
the picture, bro.
maybe a basketball.
Come on, yeah,
just
just hope, bro. Literally, it was all that imagery that we had, bro. Like all everything, like Wizard. What was bro name? Wizard Man. I don't know, but yeah, with the basketball, they don't ever show his
Wizard
head from
Kelly,
Proud
Wizard
Family. Wizard Kelly.
bro, that's exactly what I was thinking
That's
about.
bro, literally all that Wizard Kelly, like he was literally on the drawing board for the sketch that I sent to the artist. I swear to God, like, and my shout out to Dwight White, also my new, also very talented artist, goes crazy. But yeah, nah, bro, Uncle Mac was just a lot of fun, bro, to say the least. And again, shout out to 3-5. That was the first project that they invested in. That was the one that showed them that, you know, they wanted to keep me around for a little bit.
For a little bit.
For a little bit. So, you know, shout out them. But yeah, shout out Uncle Mac for real.
Who is he supposed to represent?
So imagine every single time, right, when you got in a little situation and somebody said something slick to you and you was like, damn. And then you walk away 5 seconds later and you like, I should have said this. Uncle Mac is the motherfucker that would have said it off rip. Like he the smoothest, he the, you know what I'm saying? He walking down the street, you see him from the other side of the street, like, damn, I don't know what he do, but he does that shit well. And like he knows who he is, he's confident, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like what Uncle Mac is supposed to represent is just the unapologetic confidence of self, but still in that creative sense, you know, because shit, why not have a big ass fro? Why not wear whatever the fuck you want? Why not do and move how you want through this life? You know what I'm saying? And people, as I'm starting to see, will look at you with a certain sparkle in their eye when you moving in the right way and doing it how you want. So that's Uncle Mac, for real, for real. He's smooth dude.
He's an ode to the culture.
Literally, for real, like he is a representation of, he's my representation of Neo Soul, I guess I'll say.
And when we talk about your love for the culture, it's something that's shown through rhythm and flow, right? You call Jay Taj a vulture for the culture.
I said that.
What does the culture represent to you?
First of all, Rico Shy's culture.
Shout out Rico.
Shout out Rico. But I remember we was at Studio Shapes at Albany Park, and we was having a session or something, and Rico was finna go get some pizza at this little spot up the street. I was like, bet, I'll slide. We just talking about artistry. We talking about why we, you know, doing what we do. And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I'm really trying to buy my folks a crib. I'm trying to get my parents a house. He look at me, he like, nigga, I'm trying to change the world. I was like, oh shit. I look down and shit. I'm like, damn. Like I was just trying to get my, but nah, like it was really like on some Avengers shit, like on some astral projection, like, you know, tap my forehead, and now I'm looking at my whole self in some third person perspective, because I'm like, oh, okay, like what we're doing here is really, really powerful, and what we're doing here really, really matters. So when you ask me like, what does culture mean to me? I'm thinking about that power, and I'm thinking about the reason why we're doing all this. And, you know, Rico Shy is a great representation of that. Chicago is a great representation of that. So I'm just glad that I've been able to have that influence my journey, like in this last 5 years, you know?
On Rhythm and Flow, you're over here in front of some of the biggest artists that have been able to touch the mic, right? Big Sean, Eminem. You flirted with Lotto a little bit.
What's up, Lotto? Shit, I don't know what's up.
You don't got a number, bro?
I don't know what's up.
And you were able to exude this confidence that had just came straight off the screen. Like literally, Big Sean compared you to him rapping to Kanye West.
Yeah, that was some real shit, bro. That was some bro ass shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Where did all of this confidence come from?
Well, first is God every time. You know what I'm saying? Confidence, something I say a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always leaned on that as my structure. You know, just having faith, unwavering faith is like, we never know how it's about to go. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we think about big things that happen and it put things in our, you know, like sicknesses. People get sick, people die, you know what I mean? Like, and it puts a lot of question marks in your life. God has always been the answer for me to just, you know, not remove the questions, but just be like, hey, those questions are going to be there. So just keep on going with what you got going on, you know? But at the same time, really directly on that show, it was kind of what I said before about just being around so many artists on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Being here in Chicago over these last 5 years and seeing artists that are putting their lives on the line every single day just by showing up to the studio and spending the last breath they got to get this song done, spending the last breath they got to get this video done, and pouring everything that they have into their craft. And me coming off of that for these last couple of years too, like really getting everything and putting even more back into your craft. And I just felt like with the opportunity that I was blessed with, and if I would have showed up in any other way, it would have been a poor representation of everything that I come from. You know, like obviously where I'm from, I told you about the confidence that the hustle that Los Angeles gave me, you know, from birth. But Chicago has given me the family and the sense of support. But that type of family that's like, nah, you know what we on, you know what we represent. Don't be up there playing around. So, you know, when I go up there and I tell these judges like, nah, we trying to be the four that's in them seats right there. I'm trying. This is legacy. Like we want more than this. I'm not trying to win no competition show. I'm trying to be the best to ever do it. That comes from what I've been coming up in as an artist. Like that's where I'm coming from. That's the Studio Shapes, Renzel, Rico, J, Bambi, everybody over there. Like that's what they got me brewing in, bro.
That comes from Rico telling you he's trying to change the world.
That's from Rico telling me, nah, for real shit. Nah, you laughing, bro, for real. Like when I'm on that stage and I'm looking at all these people and I'm looking them in the eye and I'm hearing Rico tell me like, bro, we got to change the world.
And clearly that confidence went over well with a lot of people, right? Because there's this love and support that's coming from complete strangers. We were just talking about it, 4,000 in 2 weeks, bro.
I think the craziest thing is when people tell me they come from other countries, you know, and like really putting that into perspective of like people that just never, or people that, you know, I might have crossed them at some point in life, but now I'm being projected and broadcasted at this stage. And to have a message that I really believe in be broadcasted like that to the point where people can respond to me like, no, I heard what you represented and I fuck with that. Like I have so many people that are just messaging me like, yo, I respect everything you did. Like, yo, you stood on everything. Like I rock with how you write. Like I appreciate your message. And like, as a rapper who are the messengers of what we in right now, like I couldn't hear nothing, no better feedback than that. So it's like feeling it from the random people, like from the strange, I don't say random people, feeling it from people that I have never heard these compliments before is like just a different level of confidence imbuing in itself. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, bet people are hearing me and they're understanding what I represent.
Although the goal wasn't accomplished, right?
Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got knocked out in the battle rounds.
Yeah, knocked out in the battles. Yeah.
Almost shed a tear watching
Yeah,
it.
yeah, man, yeah.
How has this love and support helped you to keep you going?
What people really resonated with me and was the authenticity, you know, in my delivery, in my music. Like a lot of my story wasn't told, you know, by the Netflix cameras. And I actually appreciated that because it reserves me the right to tell a lot of my story through my music. So when people were seeing the verses that I was writing, because I ain't gonna lie, like that cypher verse, that's one of my favorite verses, one of the favorite things, moments I've ever did in my life, you know, just to be on that stage and execute at that level. But to see the back end of everybody also seeing all of the work that I put into those moments and then being like, hey, bruh, you raw. That's all I can ask for. Like what? Like it's because everything is opinionated. You know, this ain't basketball. This ain't stats. This ain't numbers. This ain't rings. It's like, nah, music is opinionated. So I got people telling me that my music is changing their life right now.
Why did you feel the need to refer to the judges by their government name?
When I was writing the cypher verse, my whole goal, even when I start the verse, you know, and I'm saying like, I'm still hearing lunch table claps and locker room hats. Like, I'm just laying out the scene of every single kid in America, bro. Like, I was just like everybody else. I was rapping at the lunch tables. I was rapping off the lockers. Like, we was doing all that, like, just because we could. Just because we was young and just because we was that. So I thought, what better moment than to be in front of the game, to be staring the game in his face and just show a little something.
Was the game there?
No, not the game. My bad. Not the game. Shout out LA. Not the game, but like looking at the whole rap game. Like, you know, I'm looking at Ludacris. I'm looking at Lotto. I'm looking at DJ Khaled. I'm like, well, who y'all have worked with? What y'all have seen? I'm like, bro, like Remy Ma in here. We ciphering in front of Remy. I'm like, bro, okay. Like, this is legendary shit going on. To be at that platform, I was like, how nice would it be to just show everybody the human side of everybody a little bit? So, you know, the whole first half of my verse is kind of talking about me and every other kid in America. And then I would say that the next, or really every other kid in the world, and I say the next part of the verse does the same thing. I just specifically said it about the judges. And what I did in the verse was I looked up all of their jobs right before they got on. Like, you know, I think like Ludacris was a disc jockey. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Lotto won the rap game. And then DJ Khaled worked at this record store called Odyssey. You know what I'm saying? And in New Orleans or Louisiana or whatever. So I was like, okay, the whole second half of the verse is me saying, I'm you. I'm your government name because you don't know me yet. I'm you when you was here. And that's, in the first, after the audition, they didn't show it on the TV, but Ludacris asked me, like, what makes you unique? So at the end, a lot of people were like, why would you tell them that you're not unique? And I'll be like, oh, well, because none of us is unique, bro. And that's the game, is that we are the same. And I see that shit. And I'm like, why not be on this platform and look at them in the eyes and be like, oh, nah, I'm you. And anybody could be you. Because now I know that's what people feeling when they watch my shit. They like, yeah, I could do that. Why not?
Going forward,
Yeah, right.
You're in the battle rounds. We go back to that conversation of Jay Taj, right? And I don't want to say he killed you, but he murdered you with that last line, dog.
Oh my God, bro! Hey, shout out to my boy William Bossy on the jacket, Vince Carter custom denim jacket. That's a legendary piece. I gotta shout out. We represent all.
He said, "Fuck this failed ball player using rap as a plan B."
He said, "I'm gonna put it in my notes, so I say it again."
Yeah, I didn't know how that was gonna go over. Like,
hey, but you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though?
But
you know what's crazy, bro? I like that because again, it just let me knows about what I'm representing, and who I stand for, what I stand for. Everybody, because it's like I ain't play no college basketball. I ain't play no overseas basketball. I play high school basketball just like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I realized real early on that basketball wasn't my route, that it wasn't my path, that that's not what I'm doing. But also the reason I realized it is because I found this music. And like when I was on the court when I was younger, I was too comfortable with not being the best player on the court. And bro, you ain't never finna make it if you don't walk in somewhere thinking that you are going to be the best at it. It don't matter because there's too many people in the world. So I realized, even before I verbalized it in this way, that I was too comfortable with not being the best. And even if I really wanted to win more than anything, even if I hated losing, even if I was going to go down for my team and do all that shit and still hoop my ass off, even if I could play 6 hours straight after school, like I didn't want to be the best at it. So I wasn't going to make it. This music shit, bro, I walk in the studio trying to rip heads off. Like, I write shit like I'm fucking Kendrick in 2013. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything. Like, I'm trying to go at the whole game, the whole industry. And when I made that realization, like, oh, this is my love. This is my passion. This is me using my gift into something where it don't feel like work.
Hearing somebody say some shit like that to you, it makes you think certain things of yourself. Do you feel like it did that to you at all?
Not necessarily, because also it's like, so much of what he was saying like wasn't true.
You're telling me the whole thing he capped, bro?
It's just like so much of what he was saying wasn't true, but it allowed him to tell his story in the way he needed to progress to the challenges. So it's like I mean, that's what we signed up for. Like, just gotta sit there and like, you kind of you take the verses that get written, but also it's battle rap. Like, he ain't say nothing overly disrespectful.
Part of it was, right?
What?
It's because your whole Instagram used to be a ball playing basketball.
Oh, yeah, bro, because that was my life. You know what I'm saying? I was around hoopers, bro. Like, literally, I was when I was at Northwestern, I was a manager. You know what I'm saying? Like, my best friend now, my homie Chase, he's playing overseas. Like, he was with the Bulls G League team and played with the Heat in the summer league a little bit. Like, I know all hoopers, bro. Like, since I've been about 15, 16, I've been in like college D1 locker rooms, like doing workouts, helping people with workouts. Like, in the summer when I'm with Marv, yeah, we going to the studio, but no, I'm at his workouts with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we doing the hoop workouts in the off season. We doing strength training. Like, we doing all types of shit. So it's like my life was literally a hoop. You know what I'm saying? I was only doing hoop shit still. Like, that was what was also paying my bills too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, was me working around basketball and staying around basketball. So I was like, I love it for me. It's like, I love basketball and I love music. So now it's like being able to marry these worlds and just really to live and walk in my most authentic self is like, man, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't hear most of what he was saying. Like, once in from the moment, like when I look back on it, I was like, damn, like once he said the first untrue thing and I realized that, I was like, oh, he about to just Cause I was in there looking up shit about this nigga life, like, oh, I'm on facts. Like, I know where your address is. I'm 10 minutes away, bro. But I'm like, okay, bet. But nah, but you know, we in a general space, a general location, people who don't know our stories, judges that weren't there the rest of the season. So, you know, he wrote the better lines for the room. I gotta give him a nod every time. I can't even say shit about it.
Was it hard for you to have to go and do interviews with, you know, the person that eliminated you?
I think that was a tight experience because also like since the filming of the show, we all had got so much closer, like in our artist journeys. Like we all talk, you know, ain't nobody else go through what we went through. So we all just talking and connecting and, you know, making like checking in with each other on some real shit. So by the time we got there, that shit was celebration. I was like, oh damn, what up, gang? Like, yeah, like, you know, it was good to really sit down and also be able to show the other side of what we was doing. Because like I said, bro, I was locked in on the show. So to show the other side of my personality, it was tight.
And even after that, right? Even after the battle rap, he still showed you love.
Oh yeah, bro. Like I said, bro, Jay Taj, bro, he's such a class act, bro. Like, and he gonna be successful for a long time, and he's been successful for a long time already, and it's only gonna continue to grow. Like, you know, I think even one of the things in that moment that I appreciated so much is like, bro, we knew exactly what it was. Like, it ain't nothing but us trying to step up to the plate and see who could hit that bitch out the park. You know what I'm saying? And his shit just went a couple more feet than mine. So, you know, it ain't nothing but it was a blessing to even be able to go against him because I wouldn't even want it any other way. You know what I'm saying? I would want to go against the best in order to go forward. You know?
Who won?
Dre TL. Shout out my boy Dre TL, bro. Yeah, yep.
That's crazy because he's from there.
Yeah, he from the ATL. He putting on for the Dre TL. Shout out ATL for the Dre TL.
This shit was rigged.
Nah,
Ain't that shit filmed in ATL?
Nah, bro. It was filmed at, we was in ATL when we filmed it. For Dre TL, his progression on the show is crazy. Like, I think that's the other thing too, is like I feel like they could have did a better job at telling the world that it's an artist development show. Like they're looking to show you what it looks like to build an artist, you know, not what it looks like, what the best artist walking in the door looks like. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at Dre TL's story, what he did, he says that shit in his final thing on the song. He's literally like, hit songs I did that, pop songs I did that, rap battle I killed that. They ain't show me shit I can't do. And it's like he went through a bunch of different phases, showed a lot of different sides. It wasn't no other winner. And that last song he put out, nobody should have hit.
Whole time I really thought you were like an invested basketball player, dog. I really thought that because your fucking hometown hero cover.
Yeah,
when
bro.
I first met you,
I
didn't like meet you.
Yeah.
But it was at the slide to the stew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One of those things.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
in the
yeah.
room somewhere,
Right,
bro.
right.
I was just listening, following whoever I thought had some good shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, at that time, you had like 4K, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I did. It was small, bro. Yeah, I barely had, you know, anywhere near what I got now. And you know, again, the basketball thing was just me living in my truth. And again, I think that's the thing, too, is now, you know, that I've left school, now that I've been on my own, now that I'm out here just living, it's like my music is becoming reflective. Is that, you know, I'm very excited about the shit that we coming out next because everything I've been living over these last couple of years, it's all going into that music. So I'm glad that I did everything that I did before because it was just me learning the practice of how to live in my truest self, you know?
So what was it that made you fully transition to rap?
It just made too much sense, bro. Like, even when it didn't make sense, like dollars, it made too much sense. Like, when I wake up, when I go to sleep, it's all I'm thinking about. Like I remember this actual moment when I was in the dorm with all my homies and I literally couldn't stop making things rhyme in my brain, bro. Like I damn near thought someone was going wrong with me. Like I was just like, couldn't stop rapping in my head, like making shit rhyme, finding little things. And I was just like, the signs were too loud, bro, you know, to not go all in on it. Because that's the thing. I had always been writing. I've been writing since I was like 13. Like even before I knew what an outlet of writing was, I was just writing shit for no reason. And now writing is definitely like the thing that's, I would say, one of my top skills. Like I'm trying to catch up my music making ability to my writing. And that's where I find myself now. So when I really wanted to make that transition, I just realized I got to go all in on music. The same thing I was saying about if you don't go all in on something and thinking that you could be the best at it, it's going to be very challenging in this day and age to prevail. So I got an ignorant type of passion when it comes to this music shit. And when it came to making that transition, once it clicked all the way, like it clicked and I never looked back.
And through music, through everything, you've been able to find your home away from home here. Right over at Studio Shapes.
The fam, bro.
Talk about Renzel and how this relationship came to be.
Like I said, I was recording over at Classics. Devin Hudson is the one that introduced me to Renzel because he was like, he heard how I was coming to the studio, and he knew what Renzel his sounds were, his style, that jazz, that gritty, like, and he really wanted to marry those sounds for us. So, Devin Hudson played A&R there. I started going over to Renzel's crib before he even opened up Studio Shapes in the first location. Like every other artist in the history of Chicago will tell you the same exact thing about Renzel. From Chance the Rapper to Smino to Mick to Rico to J Bambi to me, anybody, they gonna tell you the same thing about Renzel. So I'm going over to his crib. We making beats for the first time, and it's just, I think what I really saw, the first thing that he actually told me after our first session was like, one of the things I focus on is artist development. And one of the things that I really want to keen in on is making the people around me better at what they do. And I'm like, oh shit, I want to be better at what I do. You know what I'm saying? And watching him produce from scratch, take these sounds and these frequencies and like make everything from scratch and also do it all himself in one place at the same time. Like, bro, you walk over there to go record some shit at his crib and you leaving like, this the best song I ever made him on. This the most fire shit I ever heard. But what he's doing is making you hear yourself how you should. You know what I'm saying? Hear yourself. Like, he's stepping into your world, and Studio Shapes, everybody over at Studio Shapes is stepping into the artist world and becoming a fan first. And then they're like, okay, bet, let's make something. You know what I mean? So when I pull up to his crib, he already got samples. He already got beat. He already got loops and stuff that he started working on with me in mind. And to have that level of attention, because now we at the studio, and my boy Galaxy and my dog Emmy, we got my boy Seventh, Michael, like Eric, but just having all these people in one room working on the music, like just for the actual ear, because it's a lot of producers, it's a lot of engineers, but Renzel being so welcoming in the creative process and telling me about these Kanye sessions where he has 20, 25, 30 people in these rooms. One nigga's just on Google looking shit up. Like, I'm like, oh, okay.
He's worked
like,
with Kanye?
No. Nah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Have you heard of Kanye? I don't fucking know. But he was just saying the practice of it. Practicing shit that legends have done. You know what I'm saying? Like recreating, same thing you said. Like, you watch a bunch of podcasts. It's like, man, we done seen sessions. Things have been documented. It's not that it's not that hard to recreate. It's actually very challenging to recreate. But once you do, that shit is special. So being over there at Studio Shapes, bro, it's like rapper school.
What did Studio Shapes provide for you that no other place could?
I think the biggest thing that Studio Shapes has given me that I didn't find anywhere else, because I've recorded in a lot of different places, like all over the country type shit. Now I feel blessed to be able to say that. It's the comfort, bro. Because like I said, it all started off everybody going to Renzel's crib to just cook. You know what I'm saying? Like recreating that in a space where we are so passionate, where the music industry is so cutthroat and we dealing with all this fire and shit. But to feel like you at the crib while you doing that, because that's where we all started. He says this too. He says this verbatim. Like, we all started at the crib, like we all started with our friends in the room, making beats, writing shit, even if it's by ourselves. Whatever your story is, you started probably in your room or somewhere that was your space. And what Studio Shapes does is, as soon as you step into the room, it becomes your space. And everybody that works over there, and Renzel in particular, being able to work with him so closely on these last albums and on my next album and all that type, like, bro, it's like them just really giving into the artist world respectfully, but also pushing you to be the best possible version of that artist and seeing what that looks like. Even if you don't know and they don't know, they just willing to find out. So, we trying all new shit. That's the last thing I'll say too. Studio Shapes and Renzel, a big thing is like, bro, lay down everything. Lay down every idea. That shit's in your brain. Get that shit out, bro. Put that shit on wax, because you ain't just get that idea for no reason. And the longer that the idea sits in your brain, you're not going to be able to get to that next one, So I think that's another thing too. Is just like, man, work on things, get to the next. Do things, get to the next. Found something you might want to put out? Cool. Don't stop working. Keep the creative juices flowing.
In the song Oz, you say, I'm blessed with the curse of constantly being in search of feeling I'm needed and wanted and nurtured.
That was a little bar. See, I ain't never thinking anybody's going to ask me about that.
What made you long so much for that home away from home and that feeling of being wanted?
I think it's a little song Emmy ended up putting on SoundCloud called Family Matters, right? With me and Daylight Tone. It's like a little hidden gem, little hidden classic. But in that verse, I actually talk pretty much just like, I feel like that verse is almost an expansion of that line that you just read me. And I think, it's exactly what you said of just like being at the crib dolo, bro, you know, just like spending so much time by myself. Like even if I'm not at the crib, like even though I'm just in transit, like if I'm on the train, if I'm walking somewhere, like spending so much time by myself, I finally was just like, damn, like I want to go kick it with somebody. Like I'm trying to go see some, I'm trying to go see some shit. And then what that showed me in the sense of being around so many different people is how to adapt to different spaces and like really take a back seat. Cause I could be a very forefront personality, be on the front, be all that. But naturally I like to chill. I like to sit in the back. You know what I'm saying? But especially in a place like Chicago, motherfuckers gotta check in with you first before you just chilling in the back somewhere. Cause they're gonna be like, hold up, who is dude over there? Cause I know I just showed up and everybody like, yo, who the fuck is Rome? Like on some real shit. Like, and bro, where did he come from? Like he always in the back corner, he always in some shit. But it's like, bro, that's where I feel most at peace. Just like sitting, chilling, watching, but being around people. Like I think that was what made my hubris was like, oh shit, I'm so capable of being alone now that I'll forget that I even need to be around people. But that is the thing that I most desire is like to be around people that I love. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a product of not having it for sure. It got to be a product of not seeing it for me to just yearn for it so bad.
And that's why I think when you mentioned home to me, that I was like, man, there's got to be a reason, right? And these reasons are the things that usually we didn't have. So there's that void that you need to fill, right? And it seems that, again, going back to what I said, it seems that you've been able to fill this with the groups that you joined. You've been able to fill this with basketball, with music. You've been able to fill these voids that have caused you to long for something, to have caused you to long for, whether that be attention from your family, whether that just be peace, right? You've been able to find it in different facets of life.
That's exactly what it is. It's just different facets of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of times people might get caught up looking one place for something, and it's actually you gonna get one piece of what you need from right here, one piece of what you need from right here, and one piece of what you need from right here. So, you know, my come up story and being able to adapt to so many different places is what showed me that. But you exactly right, bro. It's literally just it's not having it now it's like, okay, bet it's at my forefront. I don't want to move without it.
Going through all of this, and you mentioned leaving home, but not being able to go back just yet. What do you feel like you need to obtain before you're able to be accepted back home?
I think even just for me, to accept myself going back home, I just want to bring something back, you know? And I know I'm already bringing a lot back. Like I've been building my name, I've been building value, but I know that there'll be a moment, and I'll know when it happens. You know, when it's time for me to go home, when it's time for me to move back home, and it's time for me to start building there. But I don't know. Just right now it's just sometimes you shouldn't fight things when they're easy. You know, a lot of things are challenging right now, but where I am on a day to day, the music I'm making, the family and the people I'm around, that being my home base, this being my home base for me, learning for me that home actually is where the heart is and not being somewhere physical, because I can't go home to LA whenever I want to. I've made that drive before a couple times, 33
Damn.
hours. Yeah.
A couple times.
33 hours on the road. It ain't easy to just slide up to, like, I'm going to Milwaukee or something like that real quick. It's a little different. So
Why would you do that a couple times?
because you got to get back home, bro. Got to get back home at all costs. So, but right now though, I've been able to reteach myself what home means to me, and I know what the biggest thing of home means to me in terms of being where I'm from. But right now, I am home.
So the last thing I want to ask you about is, in Oz, you say forgive, but I always remember, I'll never forget her. She taught me the people that love you can hurt you. It don't make it better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Who hurt you, dog?
Hey, bro. Okay, so
what was this supposed to be?
So look. So really, what it is, right? I'm a little young lover boy. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be trying to find me a little somebody from here and there from time to time.
Shout out Lotto.
Shout out Lotto. She knows what's up. But it's the same thing we was talking about before of like not having what I had when I was younger, you know, like the warm love. I'll talk about it like that because again, I had a lot of love. I had hella love, especially from my parents, but the warm love, I wasn't always used to that warm love, being in your face. I'm right here. I'm next to you. I'm with you for everything, you know, and and like what I really saw, like from my relationships that I was in, like relationships I was getting in from a little young kid and stuff like that, I would just let my heart lead me too much, bro. It's like I'm falling head over heels because I don't got like at the house, I'm not coming home talking to no older sibling, no cousin on the phone, no nothing like that, where I'm like temperature checking if I'm falling too hard for a little shorty or something like that. So, bro, I'll be loving hard when I was a little kid, bro, and then even still recently. But I think we all do. You know what I'm saying? I think we all, you know, a lot of us will fall a little harder than maybe we want to sometimes. But what I meant in that line in particular is like, bro, it's like the people that love you the most are actually going to be the people that are capable of hurting you the most because of how you care for them. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that they do in their life hold a different level of weight in your heart because of how you feel about them. So what I was saying about in that line in particular is like your personal feelings is selfish. That's how you want someone to feel about you. You know what I'm saying? If I love Shorty, I love her and I want her to love me and it's all good. That's in my brain and stuff like that. Woo, woo, woo. But bro, it don't always work just like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm living in my realities and she does something or I do something and it starts conflicting and there starts to be tension in a relationship, it's not that you have to put those little heart goggles to the side. Like when you looking at your partner like, oh my God, you're so perfect, amazing honeymoon. Nah, bro, because people are people, you know, and we do a lot of things along this journey that may rub people the wrong way or that wasn't the exact direction that person was headed and you held on for maybe a little bit too long. But that's just how this shit go. And honestly, I've learned so much from holding on a little bit too long that I can't even say that I have any regrets, you know, but it does inform my decisions going forward. So shit. It was a good line. It's a good line. And I ain't gonna say I ain't been hurt before, but hey, you know, it's all about how you grow, man. It's all about how you respond to that shit, bro. So
I think my favorite thing that you said right there was that, you know, maybe I held on a little too long, but I don't regret it.
sometimes you gotta feel. Sometimes you gotta feel things, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, maybe this ain't not, it's not even about what's best for you because sometimes you just really, really want something. Like, and you really want somebody in particular, you know, and yearning for that, it's nothing wrong with that. That's the fault in all of us is that we want somebody else to be exactly what we're on. And it's just like, damn, we're all so different though.
Sad boys for real. Hey, make sure you guys go ahead and check out Rome. You got anything you want to plug?
Me and my homegirl Dono, the track that we got dropping, bro, produced by Galaxy Francis and my boy Lonzo. Lonzo plays keys. That shit's gonna be a movie, bro. I'm very, very excited about that record. I think it's gonna reach a lot of people. It's gonna be my next song, and it's gonna introduce a lot of people to this next sound. So,
Let them know where they can follow you, bro.
oh yeah, yeah,
Spell
yeah,
it out
yeah,
for
yeah,
them.
yeah. Y'all can find me at Rhome 101. I don't got no X. I don't got no TikTok. I'm only on the gram. That's RHOME 101.
Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.